So this is one of the Miami Herald articles. It's from 2022. It's called "Did a Miami-Based Modeling Agency Fuel Jeffrey Epstein's Machine of Abuse?" It's by Linda Robertson, Julie K. Brown, and Nicholas Nahamas. How a Miami Herald investigation and the voices of 4 brave survivors, once silenced by the courts, helped to blow up Jeffrey Epstein's sweetheart deal. The yellow sign for MC2 Model Management is still posted on the second floor window overlooking Lincoln Road. It's an echo of the modeling Mecca years when South Beach was like walking into a Calvin Klein underwear ad, with head-turning men and women on every corner and photo crews lined up on the sand. The office has been locked for at least 2 years, tenants say, and the parade of aspiring cover girls has ceased. Here, Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel created the boutique firm MC2 years before Epstein's arrest on charges of sex trafficking minors. What a better pipeline than a modeling agency that would recruit young bodies, young girls dreaming of a glamorous career, and provide a stream of slender bodies, one after the other, as if they were strutting down Epstein's personal catwalk. The underage girls from the Royal Palm Beach High shopping malls and trailer parks enticed to Epstein's waterfront estate to give him massages that turned into sexual assaults. They weren't the Palm Beach multimillionaire's only victims. He also had an appetite for models, and Brunel fed that appetite. Jean-Luc Brunel is the man who killed himself. Brunel launched the careers of famous models for 40 years in Paris, New York, and Miami, placing them on Vogue covers and haute couture runways, but he shared Epstein's obsession for sex with young women. And he knew that the men who ran the fashion industry could take advantage of the women and girls whose faces sold the clothes, according to court records, sworn depositions, witness testimony, and new interviews by the Miami Herald. Epstein, who financed Brunel's MC2 investment with a $1 million line of credit, died at age 66 in his Manhattan jail cell on August 10th, while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. His death, ruled a suicide by hanging, has led prosecutors to look at others in his orbit who could be considered enablers, which would seem to include Brunel, 72. Let me assure you, this case will continue on against anyone who was complicit with Epstein. Any co-conspirator should not rest easy, Attorney General William Barr said in the aftermath of Epstein's death. The prominent French agent and scouting tsunami, according to his MC2 bio, has gone underground, first in Brazil, one of his favorite hunting grounds for poor, tall 13 and 14-year-olds, and now possibly in Paris, where he has a reputation as a cocaine-snorting playboy who exploited models, accusations he has denied. In the fashion capital of the world, he is called Le Fantôme, the ghost. Brunel's whereabouts were also unknown when FBI agents delivered a subpoena seeking his testimony to the MC2 office in Miami in July, agency manager Jeff Fuller said. It's incredible that neither Jean-Luc nor Jeffrey Epstein is in prison, said Zoe Brock, who was 17 when her home or mother agency in New Zealand sent her to Paris in 1991 to work for Brunel. They were made for each other. They were united in their perverse needs. When she first met the Frenchman, she said he had propositioned her and shoved a mirror lined with cocaine at her, saying, "You know, Zoe, we're going to have sex one of these days. We're going to have sex." He was a vile little garden gnome who forced himself on the girls he was supposed to protect, Brock told the Herald. To Courtney Powell Sorensen, it was inevitable that Brunel and Epstein, whom she never met, would find each other. Epstein had to have his slimy peons, and Brunel was the ideal person to do the job, said Sorensen, 50, who was a 19-year-old model building her portfolio in Paris in the late 1980s. She told the Herald that Brunel repeatedly demanded sex and touched her inappropriately. When she refused, jobs dried up. Brunel had access to a network of young women. It was already his proclivity to behave that way. When he connected with Epstein, they realized they could do it together. He is just as guilty, if not more so, than Epstein. He was promoting and feeding the machine of abuse. Among those who knew the inner workings of MC2 was Maritzka Vasquez, Brunel's bookkeeper for a decade. In exclusive interviews, Vasquez, who lives in Miami, said the agency housed girls in Miami Beach and Manhattan apartments who never really worked as models, but were instead transported to parties at Epstein's Palm Beach and Manhattan mansions. Unlike most agencies, MC2 had no men's division, only headshots of women adorned its walls. Brunel ordered Vasquez to cook the books and hide the firm's red numbers, she said. Oh. The only reason Mr. Epstein was involved was because of the girls. I think because it was not a profitable business, Vasquez told the Herald. Brunel began bringing in girls who could not possibly qualify as top working models, said Joey Hunter, former co-president of Ford Models, who ran Karen Models of America's New York office with Brunel from 1995 to 1998. He called his partnership with Brunel the worst mistake of my life. He seemed to lower his standards, and was in it for the chase and the conquest. If I saw a mediocre girl on the street, I wouldn't approach her. She'd have to be fabulous. But Jean-Luc would take that girl, Hunter told the Herald. He was using the pitch. I'm Jean-Luc, the model agent. Come join my agency. But the girl wasn't right for professional work. It was like he was scouting for a separate business. Scrupulous agencies protected their young clients. Let's call them what they were, children. Even the most beautiful are self-conscious and insecure. They don't know who they are by that age, said Irene Marie, founder of the eponymous agency at 728 Ocean Drive, the Art Deco building used in Scarface chainsaw scene that helped reincarnate South Beach in the late 1980s. A former model who had fended off aggressive photographers, Marie was brutally honest when coaching her models about the culture of sexual harassment and abuse in the business. She encouraged parents to accompany their daughters to Miami or Paris or Milan. She assigned people to keep an eye on them at night when club owners whisked them through the velvet ropes, and Gianni Versace invited them to parties at his palazzo. Epstein's victims say that he and the charismatic Brunel were masters at conning impressionable girls into thinking they would mold them into the next Heidi Klum, Kate Moss, or Victoria's Secret's Angel. Modeling was the bait, said lawyer Gloria Allred, who represents two of Epstein's accusers. They preyed upon the hopes and aspirations of young girls. The modeling world is tough. If someone with connections offers help, that's a big break. Before they know it, these trusting girls are caught up in a carefully constructed spider's web. Sex trafficking is the ultimate betrayal. Brunel had said through his lawyer in Paris that he continues to deny sex trafficking accusations and is not on the run and would cooperate with investigators, although his lawyer in Fort Lauderdale, Joe Tittoni, said, "I don't think that will happen," when asked if Brunel would be willing to come to the United States to talk to authorities. Tittoni said he can't confirm his whereabouts and got tired of asking him because he was traveling all over the place. So this was obviously before he committed suicide. I strongly deny having participated either directly nor indirectly in the actions Mr. Jeffrey Epstein is being accused of, Brunel said in 2015 in his only public statement. I strongly deny having committed any illicit act or wrongdoing in the course of my work as a scouter or model agency's manager. Oh my gosh. Fuller, who booked models for an array of clients at MC2, defended Brunel, who he worked with for 2 decades, first at Karen Models and then at a different place. In all those years, I never met any model or any individual complain, report, or make any allegation in any way about improper behavior from Mr. Brunel. Others who allegedly enabled Epstein's scheme and are potential witnesses are Ghislaine Maxwell, Sarah Kellen Vickers, scheduler of Epstein's twice or thrice daily sexual encounters and keeper of the vast database of girls. That's Kellen Vickers, Sarah Kellen Vickers. The scheduler, Nadia Marcinkova, and Adriana Musinska-Ross, the ex-model from Poland who lives in Miami. Those are the people I bet are in the non-prosecution agreement. Yeah, in court papers, they have either denied involvement or invoked the Fifth Amendment. So, he never wanted a prostitute or an escort because it wasn't just the sex. He also had to, he made somebody engage in acts they never would have engaged in. These were innocent people, vulnerable people. And it's disgraceful that we have a president who's actually covering up this whole thing, trying to sweep it off.